Hello there, Aquarius. Welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be your oracle message for the week of the last week of January into the first week of February for the next 7 days, okay? All right, so this is what's coming in for you. Oh, you got the hippie card. That's what I call it, the hippie card. Radiance, rejoice in your life. So I feel like this really suits Aquarius just in general, like just who they are, because they're all about, self-love in general. Aquarians generally are. They, radiate like, if I can't pour into my cup, then how am I going to pour into someone else's cup, right? And this picture really indicates that for me, for you. So that's your message this week is you need to rejoice in your own life. Count your blessings. It says here, celebrate, rejoice, and even make love, right? I mean, if that's the situation, then do it, right? Making love isn't just, about making love. It's also about, making just, like being loving towards people, right? And, rejoicing, right? Rejoicing in what you have, rejoicing in your blessings thus far, right? I also feel like you have people here that are supporting you. If you see in the picture, there's lots of like celestial figures, like these are fairies right here. And then you also have, it looks like elk, or I think they're deer. To me, this just symbolizes a grounding force that you do have around you right now. You have a good support system. If you don't have a good support system, Aquarians, because you know what, some of us don't have good support system, so you have to go out and find it, right, in the in the world. And I've had to do that. That's been my experience. There are people around you that will help you. You just have to reach out, connect on social platforms, join groups on Facebook where you have things in common and of interest with people. Whatever you're going through, I do feel like there is some kind of like, it almost feels like things might have derailed for you, right? Or they're very slow coming forward into fruition. It's because you're not surrounded by the right people, right, at this time. And I feel like that means that you need to go out into the world, right? The flowers here also, to me, indicate fertility, and it doesn't necessarily mean like, in the let's have a baby type of energy. That's not what I mean. I mean, it's like making new. To me, flowers always symbolize like friends. That's what they symbolize to me a lot of times, especially when they're in nature, like scattered like that. I feel like there's a need to maybe expand your social network here and, be the best version of yourself. There's something about authenticity coming through with this card as well. Be authentically you, and you'll attract the people that vibrate to that level as well, right? So she is enough, right? She is enough. So she's going to attract the right people in that are going to, fulfill her life and be a good support system. So that's what you need to concentrate on this week. Because there's something about a support system is going to be a big deal for you this week, Aquarius. So your rune is Manaz. This is related to mankind, just your fellow, humans, basically. Mankind, womankind. And then it's also related to the self, friends, enemies, and social order. So I do feel like you're going to get a lot of support in some sort of social order. The socialization is very big for you. The making new connections, new networks, right? There's also something about the 3D world coming into place, being at mankind. So I feel like this isn't necessarily like a boss or anything like that. It could be, but I feel like it's more like the people that do things in the normal world. Like they're the people who keep the They keep everything going, your common worker, basically. You will probably find support in those people right now. And if you're not finding support in that right now with, where your job is at, then it means that you have to start looking possibly for another job. Because here's the thing, and I know this is a lot, but like when we stay in places, whether it's housing situations or whether it's work-related situations, even physical locations can literally make or break you, right? When we stay in situations like this for a long term that are not good for us, we're not going to attract new opportunities in, unless, we're actively trying to get out of those situations. But my point is that you have to make a shift, right? Your mind has to change. So, where was I going with this? Sorry. Yeah, so I feel like that, you might be surrounded by maybe unsupportive coworkers right now, people that are jealous of you, people who are unsupportive, people who just, are critical. That means that you're not supposed to be there, that place very long. That's what that means. I've done a lot of research in my own life where I've been in those types of situations, and I chose to stay in them longer than I should have. And I learned, that things aren't going to get better. They're going to get worse when you stay in those situations. Because the thing is when you are surrounded by people in places like that are not for your highest good situations, you can't possibly attract good things in, like new opportunities, And I'm only saying that this applies if you haven't made the mental shift. Like if you're like, oh no, it's not that bad, or oh, I'm just going to bypass what they did. It's not a big deal. They're just angry. Yeah, they are angry. But if it continuously keeps happening, then there's a pattern. So you have to shift your mindset to get out of those situations, is what I'm saying, right? Like if you're already doing this, if you're already shifting your mindset, then that doesn't apply to you. You're trying to get out of the situation. You're doing what you need to be doing. You're radiating what you want in your own life, right? This is only for those who haven't shifted out of the mindset. But yeah, I do feel like new friends are on the horizon. You need to make new friends. And that's your message for this week, Aquarius. Take care. Bye.